over the head of Rodriguez, who gives ground back to his 28-yard line. There is a marker. And he's rolled down by Huma. 55-yard punt and a 2-yard negative return. What an effort by Amat's specialty unit.
Well, that's just what they need, and they're going to tack another 15 yards onto this for illegal block. And so what should have been great position for the Sylmar Spartans is going to turn out to be certainly not poor position, but not where they thought they'd be.
We have a clip. 15 yards on the run back. We'll extend the period after a 15-yard penalty.
And that, of course, Randy, was the last play of the quarter, but as the official indicated, they're going to extend the period because of the penalty right here and run one more play.
So Sylmar victimized by the clipping infraction, and they're moved back to their own 17-yard line. Tyrone Crenshaw has come out of the ballgame for the moment. And there will be one more play. Now Crenshaw is going to come back in, and they'll go with the 3 backs in the lineup. There's Crenshaw in the tail of the tandem with Bilal and Duran in front of him. The final play of the first quarter. And Crenshaw goes nowhere.
Probably the best news for Bishop Amat, the tackle by Wilhelm Zeele. He's back in the ball game.
Zeele with a big stop to conclude the first quarter. 2 outstanding defensive units pounding away after the first 12 minutes. Bishop Amat and Sylmar are scoreless in the first ever CIF Reebok Bowl.
Toss it to me.
Quarter, and let's go to Artie Ojeda on the Sylmar sideline.
Randy, most of Sylmar's plays are called by offensive coordinator Obi Brown, who then signals in those plays to quarterback Dion Price. Now, most of the time they get those signals right. However, there were a couple of times this year where they got those signals crossed. In fact, one time Dion called the exact opposite play. He ran the ball in for a touchdown. It's been that kind of season for Sylmar. Back to you.
Good reason to shy away from your offensive coordinator if you're going to run it for a touchdown. There's number 1. He's number 1 in the hearts of the Sylmar fans. He's also a basketball player for Sylmar. Crenshaw has stood up at the 20-yard line. Villagran, number 85, and Craig Nordman, number 42. Nordman, the leading tackler. He has 120 hits this year for Amat. There's some pretty good sticks going on, and unfortunately for Amat, Ely is down again.
Yeah, he was in on that tackle, and again he got bent over backwards there. And that ankle, that left leg of his, is obviously causing him some problems. Simple little handoff right there. As you can see, Crenshaw going right up the gut. He's just hit by the middle of that line. See Ely up on top, and he gets his leg crumpled underneath, and looks like he's going to have to go off the field for some more repairs.
Ely's a guy that has 10.5 sacks this year. Hard to block him one-on-one, and you know when you use the term heart and soul, we're seeing that in evidence tonight. Already shaken up once. He battled his way back onto the field, shaken up again. I wouldn't doubt he returns it a little bit.
Well, it's up to him. He'll return, but he looks like he's pretty well hurt going off the field.
Statistically, in the first quarter, not a lot of yardage to talk about. 2 dominant defenses.
Yeah, two offenses that can put points up on the board. As you can see, nothing for Bishop Amat and only 17 yards for Sylmar. So certainly defense is dominating to this point in the ball game.
Split backs for Dion Price. The pump fake. Excellent coverage from Paul Shea. Intended for John Katanis, number 4. They tested the right quarterback, Paul Shea, who has 7 interceptions this year. Roddy's an excellent DB.
Yeah, he is. And again, that pass wasn't completed, but I think it sent the message out. Because Sylmar, Randy, is going to have to do something to loosen up this Bishop Amat defense. And right now, they're able to stuff the run. So if they can at least get that threat of a pass in the air, maybe it'll open up their running attack.
Price is punted on 4th down. Of course, he always gives you the double threat. Being the quarterback, you can run or throw out of punt formation. McCutcheon will watch it bounce and roll down at the 33-yard line. A 48-yard punt by Dion Price. 11:21 left in the first half. No score. Bishop Amat, the Lancers, and the Spartans of Sylmar. First ever CIF Reebok Bowl, and we're glad to have it for you on KCOP Channel 13 tonight. Two teams that deserve to be here, the two #1 seeds, two squads that went undefeated, and they were dominant for most of the year. Best field position for Amat to begin a drive just outside their 30-yard line. Play action. Incomplete. Wanted his big tight end Aaron Villagran. Mike Anderson with good coverage along with Ibn Bilal. Tough to thread the needle when you're going against the double team coverage. There's Mark Paredes, 6th year, has been outstanding. Came close a few years ago, brought his team to the CIF championship game. And lost to Fountain Valley. This year they've gone the distance and into the Reebok Bowl. Smith only 1 of 5 throwing. Looking deep for McCutcheon. Dalen McCutcheon will score. 68 yards, and Amat gets on the board first.
Well, of course, Dalen McCutcheon is their big play guy, and we knew that sooner or later they were going to bust one. He went out there. You're going to see number 22, Dwight Patton, who's a heck of a defensive back, but McCutcheon just runs right by him. This ball is just perfectly thrown by Smith. McCutcheon doesn't have to break stride at all. Patton tries at the last minute, but just unable to do so, and just like that, a tight ball game is broken open by the big play.
2 plays, 68 yards. Banks for the PAT. And it is 7-0 Lancers. The home run ball to McCutcheon gives Bishop Amat a lead with 10:48 left of the half. Pepsi-Cola, their Southern California bottlers, are proud to sponsor in part this year's CIF Reebok Bowl. Good luck to the players and the coaches. Pepsi, gotta have it. Well, you got to have good field position if you're Bishop Amat, and they take full advantage of it with a big score with their fine quarterback going the home run distance, Mike Smith, to Dalen McCutcheon.
Well, it's interesting, Randy. Now, Sylmar has had good field position 3 times. We're not able to capitalize on it. Ball in the end zone, of course. Got to stay in the end zone. We'll come out to the 20-yard line. Again, another rule in high school. But as we were saying, Sylmar had good field position 3 times, unable to capitalize it. The first time Bishop Amat gets the ball in decent position, bingo.
Now keep in mind, Sylmar is a run-oriented football team. They're not accustomed to trailing. I know 7-0 is not a large deficit, but you know their philosophy is to get ahead of teams, not trail.
And all season long they have been able to do that. In fact, I think there's been only one game where they were behind 7-0. They've never gone off at halftime trailing in a football game. And because they don't have much of a passing attack, they can ill afford to get too far behind, especially against a defense that Amat is throwing up there.
Price has hit 51% of his aerials this year. Crenshaw for 3 yards. Of course, Crenshaw in the playoffs played against Crenshaw, and they're the only team to this point to limit him under 100 yards in playoff competition. Wilhans Ely, back in the ball game, made the stop. 6-footer, just a junior. Of course, the collegiate scouts will be out after him next year. He's carried it 8 times for 23 yards in this first half. 10:15 left in the first half. Bishop Amat, the Lancers, leading by 7-0 over Sylmar. Crenshaw, now the sweep is to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. He's 4 yards shy of his first down. Jerry Ambrose, the strong end, number 40, made the stop.
A good defensive play that time on the part of Ambrose. Price just pitched the ball out here to Crenshaw. He comes around his right end. There's Ambrose coming up to make the tackle. Nice play.
Ambrose is an interesting story, Ron. He's a guy that the coach wanted to play quarterback, and He went to Mark Paredes and said, "Coach, I don't want to be the star. I want to play defensive end."
Exactly. Well, you know, nowadays, of course, defense has a lot of glamour in defense, and obviously he felt his future lied on the defensive side of the football field rather than the offense, but he's got a heck of an arm.
3rd and 5 for the Spartans. Bilal is 1.5 yards shy of his first down.
And I think Sylmar is going to have to give up the football again right here, way too early in the game to go for this 4th and 1 situation, especially with their kind of defense. And again, Randy, you know, we talk about lack of a passing attack, but when you've got 2 runners like Bilal, of course, and Crenshaw, you've got 2 guys that can make a run look like a pass in a real hurry.
Arredondo and McCutcheon. Of course, McCutcheon is the touchdown maker. Price's punt directed at Arredondo. The fair catch at the 40-yard line. A 31-yard punt, no return. Amat leading 7-0. This becomes their best field position of the night. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the CIF and KCOP television for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this broadcast without the express written permission is prohibited. Falling down is Mike Smith. Tripped as he was turning to roll to his right.
And Derek Lanier was right there in case Smith didn't go down. Just tripped over his own feet right there. And of course, he's got to have some confidence now, having thrown that home run bomb just a few plays ago. And you're going to see the ball up in the air a great deal more because it looks as if Sylmar has got this running attack and Sermon's pretty well stopped.
Ernesto Arredondo, number 1. You saw him come in with the play. 2nd down and 16. The delay. And little running room there.
Brazil was in and got the running back by the shoes, was able to bring him down.
And delay to Randy Guanco. Guanco's the guy that caught the 20-yard touchdown last week. Terrific grab, one-handed grab to beat Loyola 7-3. That's the reason Amat is here. Total yards to this point, really all one play. 7:30 left in the half. Lancers 7, Spartans nothing. Smith throwing. For Trevor Woods, too low to the ground. He trapped the ball, incomplete.
And interesting, you see Patton that time gave Woods way too much room. Again, I think he's a little bit nervous over the fact that he got burned by McCutcheon a couple of plays ago. I don't know if we'll get an opportunity to see right here, but Woods was wide open. Patton was at least 10 to 12 yards behind him. Now, he's got to play a little tighter than that. Poorly thrown pass. Had it been a little bit better thrown, Woods was there for the first down yardage.
One of the stars to this point has been George Guzman, the outstanding linebacker slash punter. And on 4th and 10, he'll have to field the high snap. And Guzman forced to run, and he has room. Guzman putting the head down. A terrific effort, a first down for George Guzman. He picks up 17, and he points to the sky.
Well, just a terrible snap from center, way over Guzman's head. He's fortunate. That's just athletic ability, reaching up there with his right hand to keep that ball from going over his head. Now, once that happens, of course, the Sylmar defense is strictly paying punt return right there. Guzman is able to get around the right side and pick up just enough first down yardage.
Pretty friendly hop as well, but the rest is all Guzman. Knowledge of how to bring the ball back upfield. And then he put the head down and overpowered the defender. Smith throwing deep again for Woods. He's to the end zone, touchdown. 49 yards. And Amat has beaten the secondary twice. And Engelman's crew is in trouble.
And again, Randy, we predicted in the beginning they would probably go after Robert Camacho, number 2. He's only 5'4". That's exactly the guy they picked on. And of course, Trevor Woods is a speed burner. You'll see him come down the field on the left side. He'll cut into the middle of the field. And, of course, he beats Camacho, goes right by him for the easy score. There you see number 2 giving chase, but to no avail. Good balance on the part of Woods that time, not going down.
So the deep throw has been available for the Lancers. So the Whiteouts, the Speed Demons, McCutcheon and Woods, each with a touchdown. Jeff Banks delivers, and it's 14-0 Bishop Amat. 6:55 left. The Spartans have been struck with lightning. Let's see what they can do when we return. Has never this season allowed more than 14 points. They beat Chatsworth 20-14, Monroe 40-14, Van Nuys 42-14, and Polytechnic 34-14. But they're down 14-0 with 6:55 left in the first half. And Banks kicking off again. This one is returned. Dwight Patton. And Patton out to the 28-yard line. Steve Yonke on the Bishop Amat sideline has an injury update.
Yeah. Yes, unfortunately, down here on the Bishop Amat sideline, what you're looking at is the knee of Will Hans Ely. His game tonight is certainly over. When he made that big hit a couple of series ago, he came off the field yelling, "My knee is blown out, my career is over." We certainly hope his career's not over, but we know the CIF Reebok Bowl tonight is over for outstanding nose tackle Will Hans Ely. Back up to you guys.
Well, he showed a lot of character trying and trying again, but now his teammates will have to pick up the pace, and to this point the offense has responded as well as the defense.
You know, Randy, early in the week I was talking to Coach Engelman, and I asked him if his team had ever faced a team as well balanced as Bishop Amat. Specifically, how was his team able to handle a passing attack? He said to me, he said, you know, last week when we played Carson basically a run and shoot offense, they threw the ball 70% of the time. We shut them out. We think we've got the defensive backs that will be able to cope with any passing attack. So far, the opposite has proved to be correct, as we've had 2 long bombs.
Now, of course, there's been a lot of great players who have performed in both the CIF and the city. One of them, Tony Zendejas, played at Nevada Reno, obviously playing with the Rams on this field. He had a thought or two on what might happen in this first ever CIF Reebok Bowl.
Well, you see, since I think we'll have the home field advantage since playing in Anaheim Stadium. So the city has to come from the city, and the Bishop Amat's a little closer, so I have the home crowd. I think Bishop Amat will win like 30-14. Sounds good.
Sounds like a profit to this point. Lancers lead 14-0. First and 10.
Fumble.
And Bilal fumbles. Amat has it.
Chris
Gallardo, the recovery, number 63.
Well, if you had to pick one thing that Sylmar could ill afford to do right there is give up the football. As you can see, it was a pretty good handoff to Bilal, but he just wasn't able to get possession of it. Picked up by Gallardo, and now Bishop Amat is in business again on the 28-yard line.
Well, the defense of the Spartans needs to respond right here. They need a defensive stop against Amat. Down 14-0, a great opportunity for the Lancers.
And you put the ball right up in the air and go for the home run right here.
Play action. Sherman's at the 20, 15, down near the 10. Rodney Sherman's gains 18, circling out of the backfield, pushed out of bounds by Dwight Patton.
And that, of course, is what makes Rodney Sherman so tough, is the fact that not only can he run with the football, but he can catch the football. 4 touchdowns this year, and you see number 22, Patton, of course, push him out of bounds. But a beautiful conceived play on first down.
The 16th reception this year for Rodney Sherman.
And they are literally about an inch or 2 outside the 10-yard line, so I guess theoretically they could make first down yardage right here without scoring.
Spartans have called the timeout. They have to think about it defensively, trailing 14-0. Amat looking to break this one open in the first half. Amat leading 14-0. Artie Ojeda on a concerned sideline of the Sylmar Spartans.
Well, Randy, all week long, defensive coordinator Daryl McIntyre was concerned with his defense's aggressiveness, or in particular, the over-aggressiveness, the over-pursuit of the ball. I don't know if that's happening here. They seem to think that it's just been a couple of touchdown plays where the defensive backs have gotten beat by great speed. Back to you.
Talk about great speed. Trevor Woods, 4.5 in the 40s, caught a touchdown bomb. Dalen McCutcheon, the 10th grader, went the distance. And the numbers rapidly improving for Mike Smith. Sermons inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Tripped up by George Brazil.
And of course, what you want right here, if you're the Spartans, is to create a turnover. The problem being, though, Randy, is that the Lancers don't turn the ball over. An amazing statistic today. You know, this is football. Obviously, is a game of statistics. This entire season, every time the Lancers have been in the red zone, i.e., the 20-yard line, they have scored.
It's the first time tonight they've been in the red zone. They've scored long distance. Little counter to Sermons, running wide at the 5, at the pylon. Give him a touchdown. Rodney Sermons, 9 yards. It's 20-0 Bishop Amat. Sermons able to turn the corner, his 21st rushing touchdown this year.
Well, just a simple little pitch right there to Sermons coming around his left side. You're going to see a real poor job of tackling here on the part of number 2. That's Robert Camacho. Sermons should not have been able to get to the end zone that time. And almost like a disheartened effort right there. But again, as we see in that red zone, they managed to score.
Banks looking for the PAT. Amat has scored touchdowns the last 3 times they've had the football. It's 21-0 for the Bishop Amat Lancers, representing nearly 400 schools in the CIF Southern section. Rodney Sermons showing the blistering speed, turning the corner for the touchdown. Well, tomorrow night, don't miss Danny Manning, Mark Jackson, and the Clippers as they take on their division rivals, the Seattle Supersonics, from the Seattle Coliseum, live at 7 o'clock, right here on Channel 13.
Well, I'll tell you, not in his wildest dreams did Jeff Engelman believe that any football team could do this to his defense. And this game is very rapidly getting out of hand because, again, this is a team, the Spartans, that is, has never had to come from behind. They're now 21 points down. They don't have a great passing attack.
Dwight Patton will return from his 5-yard line. And again, Patton cruises out to the 25-yard line, and he's bent back. And you know, too, the defense of Amat has a purpose, playing for the injured Wilhans Ely. And, of course, the offense has certainly responded. The air attack now opens it up for the ground game.
And we get another look here, of course, at Rodney Sermons going around his left side. Little counter play right there. Once he gets the containment on the outside, there's just nothing Camacho can do. He gets to the outside and just gets in the pylon.
Artie Ojeda, what do you have for us on the Sylmar sideline?
Well, right now you can see defensive coordinator Daryl McIntyre imploring his defensive leader Anthony Murray to take charge of his young defensive team. Show some leadership, Anthony. Do the job you're capable of doing. Back to you.
It's hard to believe that the defense has been stripped the way they've been in this second quarter. 21 points in the second quarter for Bishop Amat against a defense that had 5 shutouts and 13 outings.
Well, of course, as Artie said, you know, Murray now is imploring his teammates to show some spark here on defense, but they're going to need some help on offense. The offense has got to take charge right here, move this football down the field, put some points on the board. They've got to give their defense some help.
As that graphic says it all, this is the most points allowed by Sylmar. Let's see what their offense can do. Price is pressured and sacked back at the 21-yard line. Raul Reyna, number 86, rushing in, and the Sylmar Spartans sideline, disappointment showing. That's Ramon Guardado. Everybody is concerned on the Sylmar sideline.
As well they should be. Again, you see Price go back. It looks to me, Randy, as if he basically has vision only for his primary receiver. If that receiver is covered, he doesn't seem to be able to pick out a secondary receiver. By that time, of course, the speed and quickness of the Lancers able to gang up on him, and Reyna brings him down for a loss.
3rd and very long. Approaching 3 minutes left in the half. Bishop Amat 21, Sylmar nothing. The city champions struggling in the second quarter. Trips to the left side.
Screen.
Price is dropped. Jerry Ambrose, the strong end, collapses Dion Price. A loss of 13. Steve Yonke on the Amat sideline.
Well, I don't know if there's any correlation or not, but the man we're going to try to get on camera right now showed up when the score was when it was scoreless, and suddenly Bishop Amat runs a fumbled punt for a first down, and then scores 3 quick touchdowns. And that's Cardinal Mahoney showed up when it was scoreless, and now it's 21-0. I don't know. We'll let you guys figure that one out.
Well, the heavens have been kind to Bishop Amat. McCutcheon from the 48. Looking for a break. He cannot find any crease. A 38-yard punt and a 1-yard return.
And you'll have a clipping penalty on this one also, Randy, so the ball will be brought back another 15 yards.
I was going to say the heavens have been kind. That bad snap, Guzman fortunate to bring it in, then he returned it for 18 yards and a first down, set up the touchdown.
Number 44,
well, the heavens may have had something to do with it, Randy, but I got to tell you something. Mike Smith has also had something to do with it, as has McCutcheon and Trevor Woods and Sermons. I mean, you've got some outstanding offensive players on that field right there. And again, it's interesting. Once they started getting field position, they were able to open up their offense. And once they were able to open up that offense, they were able to score. And even with that 15-yard penalty, they're still starting in reasonably good field position on their own 38-yard line, with 1:59 and all of their timeouts remaining. Obviously plenty of time to put some more points on the board.
Well, they've scored quickly in this quarter. Lateral pass to Sermons, running down the sideline to the 50, to the 45. He's to the 43 with a first down. What a move by Rodney Sermons. 19 yards.
Well, there's no way you can teach these kind of moves. This is when we refer to somebody as an athlete. This is what we're talking about. Now, that ball is thrown behind Sermons right there. It's actually a lateral. Watch the moves he puts on right here. There to the outside, jump back to the inside, and able to hold on to the football. Notice how he had the football in his left hand away from the tacklers.
Amat averages 27 points a game. They're approaching that here in the first half. But on this occasion, Mike Smith goes down under a furious rush by George Brazil.
Mike Smith is sacked by
1:16 remaining, and now Amat calls for the timeout.
number 80, George Brazil.
And we see the quarterback go right back there. And of course, Guzman, number 44, actually, Pierce is in there and makes the initial hit on Smith. That was just a good coverage sack. There were no receivers. But again, notice how smart this football team is. He doesn't have any receivers open. He eats the ball. He takes a loss rather than throw it up and risk the turnover.
Second down and 14. You see Mark Paredes, who's also the athletic director at Bishop Amat, right in the middle of that huddle. We're in the second quarter, and the Lancers clinging to a 21-0 advantage. Complete domination in the second quarter after a first quarter where Sylmar had the field position and just couldn't take advantage.
And I think that's real important. I think that Bishop Amat developed a great deal of confidence on on their defense when they were able to contain the Spartans, even with that good field position. I think that they feel as if they are perfectly capable of containing the run. And right now they're basically saying to the Spartans, you can throw the football, go ahead and do it. We don't think you can.
Jeff Engelman agonizing on the sideline.
Well, he's such an emotional person, and this has really got to be killing him.
Smith with a deep drop. The out pattern, and Woods is wide open. First down to the 27-yard line. Deion Price made the tackle. 19 more yards for Trevor Woods. And these wideouts, Woods and McCutcheon, getting open easily.
And again, you're just going to see number 22, Patton, give Woods way too much room, as you can see. Now, Woods makes a nice move on Patton right here. Fortunately, Deion Price is there to make the stop, or this ball game could have been 28-0.
Quick out to Dalen McCutcheon, a short gain to the 22-yard line. Again, Amat averages 27 points a game, and with a touchdown here, they could exceed that in the first half. 21-0. The champions of the southern section are leading.
Well, Smith has really got his confidence now. And again, these two defensive backs, Camacho, of course, and number 22, Dwight Patton, they're giving the receivers of the Lancers way too much room. Smith can have a field day here.
On the draw. Good call, but getting cut down is Jason Harris.
Well, that's too bad, because if Harris would have been able to keep his feet, he had an awful lot of running room in front of him. As we see 40 seconds remaining in the half, still with 2 timeouts to Lancers, so they've got